Welcome to Fine Living, presented by Jim Reif Builders on 1240 Radio WOMT.
And a good morning, Lakeshore, and welcome to Fine Living right here on 1240 Radio WOMT each and every week with Jim Reif. Good morning, Jim.
Morning, Terry.
How are you, sir?
I'm real good.
That's a good thing. Enjoying summer?
Yeah, it finally arrived, I think.
It has indeed, and it will go by quick, so we have to enjoy every minute that we have.
Yes, you bet.
Jim, today we're talking about why should we choose a general contractor, and maybe even backing up a little bit and defining what a general contractor really means. First off,
A general contractor is a contractor builder, man or lady, that would coordinate and run projects for you, and then typically they work as the paying the trade contractors and such like that.
okay,
So they'll oversee trade contractors. They'll put schedules together. They help with plans. Put the contract together, and then
so
work
they'll
on
basically manage the entire project for the individual.
work on your behalf to manage the project.
Are all builders, though, general contractors?
They are not. They are not. That's one of the things. I mean, there are a lot of builders and a lot of good craftsmen, in our area, but not all of them want to handle those duties of being the general and organizing the trade contractors. Some want to just do the building portion and such like that. And there's a difference. And those are some of the questions you as a consumer should ask. Because you want to make sure that you understand that, because you may think they're doing that, taking it up for you, and they don't. And then you may end up doing extra work and extra stress involved with that.
Okay. Some of the questions we have listed here, references, state certified, and basically to show them or show you how organized they are.
Correct. You first of all, you want to make sure they have their credentials. In Wisconsin, it's a state certification. It's not a license, it's a certification, and you have to have the number from the state, and it identifies that you are experienced and have that ability to be a contractor. References, always ask for those. That is your greatest tool, I think, you as a consumer has, is to call other folks and ask them how the process went and what your builder contractor did for you. And then ask them to produce, how they keep the projects organized. What's their schedule look like? Show a physical schedule, and whatever else they do to show that they're going to run the project for you.
And when you're working with Jim Reif Builders, you have all that information available for the consumer.
Correct. A lot of times I pull my phone out and stuff is right on there. I can show people that. That's pretty neat, the technology.
There you go. Guaranteed price. What does that mean?
Well, again, if you're hiring a builder, in most financial institutions would want this too, is you'd want to make sure that you have a guaranteed price. Now, the price may vary if you as a consumer, make changes. I think everybody understands that. But you want to make sure that when it's all said and done, that the price is documented, and that's what you'll actually pay.
Okay. And project management, when you're working with Jim Reif Builders, basically one call to you guys, and you take care of the rest for everybody else.
That's correct. So that one call is going to allow us, to then work with you. We'll coordinate those trade contractors and manage them. I mean, I'm on site numerous times a week, meeting my carpenters or the trade contractors, getting questions answered. There's lots of small questions and details that have to be handled. I don't think the consumer understands. And that's why you hire a general contractor, and that's why you pay just a little bit more than you try to do it yourself. But ultimately, I think one of the key things is that it's stress management. Stress is, in all our lives. We experience it at our jobs. We want to do whatever we can to alleviate that.
And it's important, and it's basically the convenience of working with you, knowing that anything that comes up, they can contact you, and you and your team will take care of it for the individual.
A phone call, a text message, email, and I'll get back to you with your questions and answers. And I'm going to talk to people numerous times, in their project. One of the questions when we meet and get together is I ask them how late at night I can call them, because sometimes, I may have to call them at 8:30 in the evening because it's, I've got stuff going on too, whether it's family or business, and we may need to contact them later, but I want to get back to them, as quick as I can. So I think that's important. And the schedule, we provide that schedule to them so they know what's going to happen day to day.
That's important. I know recently you got a really great Facebook post from an individual.
Correct. We're just wrapping up a kitchen remodel for a couple, and Mrs. Just is inquisitive, has a lot of questions, and was worried about some things weren't going to get handled. For example, it was like the dishwasher's not right next to the sink. It's kind of out in a peninsula type cabinetry, and she didn't see a pipe to the dishwasher and concerned that it wasn't taken care of. And I, explained to her that, that comes in because the basement was open. We'd put that pipe in, when the cabinetry was done and stuff. So there's a lot of little questions. And I mean, she'll email me at 12 o'clock at night, midnight, she'd think of a question she was worried about, and she'd, want to make sure it got handled. And I'd respond to her in the morning, whether an email or a phone call, to make it all happen.
Mm-hmm. And she wrote here, if you're a nervous remodeler like me, Jim is your guy. He is patient with all of your questions, even if you ask them several times. So I think it's just a great testimony for you guys.
It was, and that's just what we do. We help people out.
Jim, if listeners out there are looking at building or remodeling a project, how can they get a hold of you guys?
You can always contact our office at 684-6899. Check us out on the website, jimreifbuilders.com, or Facebook us.
Jim, we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you, Terry.
Thanks for listening to Fine Living, presented by Jim Reif Builders, the leader in new construction and remodeling here on the Lakeshore. Let their vision enrich your lifestyle. Tune in again next week for another episode of Fine Living on 1240 Radio, WOMT. To learn more, visit jimreifbuilders.com.